Oh yeah. And this is the first time, it's always the best. There's always been in that huge puzzle of life that I didn't interview over the year, and I'm so excited because you guys has been pushing forward a style of music that was so exciting back in the days, but still is so accurate and still get people look after all those years. But for people that wondering who the hell he's talking to, man, who the hell are you?
I'm Gus Pitt. I'm the drummer of Sacrifice, original guy that's did most of the records and still relevant, still alive, still kicking after all these fucking years. I'm pretty happy.
That's crazy. That's crazy, and it's dedication. But it's great because, like I said before the interview, the Canadian scene is so strong, and it's cool to see that you're still doing it after all those years. DOA are still there. I mean,
Yep.
the guys from No Me No are dead Bobs, but they're still fucking rocking out there. And
Yes.
and that wave that came after that, and it's amazing. But before getting into the new stuff and what's coming up with Sacrifice, I'm curious. Let's get back to when you were a kid, a long time ago. How did you start discovering music? And were you from a family that enjoy music, or were there people around you that influenced you?
Yes. To answer all those questions, yes, for everything, Eric. I was lucky enough to have a very musical father, a mother who loved music. So grew up with a very musical household. My dad played drums. He's also self-taught guitar player. He was an aspiring musician. So country music for the most part. And I started cutting my teeth probably around 79. So probably a year. Most of your listeners probably weren't even born yet. So um, I began doing my own thing, learning my own, cutting my craft, learning how to play drums, learning how to apply myself to it. I guess as I got started getting into high school in the early '80s, the drumming aspect of it became more relevant to me. I was playing it more. Uh, no aspirations to join a band, just a regular Canadian boy living in Toronto who loves to play drums. So I was lucky in that regard. So uh, to get to this point and to have the career that I've had after 40 years is pretty amazing to say the least. I'm blessed to be able to sit here and still be healthy, be at the age that I am. I'm 2 years away from 60, so that in itself is pretty miraculous. I just got to see. Well, I haven't seen the show yet, but Bill Ward just celebrated his last live performance at 77. Uh, had everybody crying, but I mean, isn't that what it's all about, really? Like, you give so much, and it's really just personal satisfaction. Like, I play for me, and then I play for everybody else to make the guys I play with happy and to lend what I've learned to do, which is play drums. And been pretty lucky, man. It's paid off after all these years. To be honest with you, man, if you had asked me in like 84, 83, I would have said you're out of your fucking mind. I was gonna be a, I was gonna be a, one of the first few fucking thrash drummers to become something of in a band that. What can I tell you, Eric? It's a fucking honor, right? I mean, some people get it, some people don't. Some people take it for granted. I never have. I never took it for granted when they asked me to come back and play for them, and it's been an amazing ride to say the least.
Yeah, it's an amazing story, and yeah, when you started up a band, you're young, naive, and want to conquer the world. And I'm
Yeah.
sure your parents were like, "Oh, cool, you want to play music?" And we're like, "Yeah, trash metal. That there's a wave in the states, and we're gonna catch that wave." And being
It's
in the
ironic you
first
say
wave,
that to me. Yeah, it's ironic you say that to me because when you say that, my dad said to me when I started playing drums and I wanted to get a big set, he goes, you can be bigger and faster if you played fucking country music. I didn't take that path.
That's funny. We share that. My grandfather, who passed away in December at the age of 93, was a
Good deal, but
huge country fans. A lot of
yes,
Quebec also artists like Willie Lamotte and etc. And I grew
yes,
up
yes,
listening
I
to
know.
that. But it
Massive
opened.
fucking market there. I know that for country music in Quebec. I know this.
It's Iden. That's the thing with country in Quebec. You don't see that. It's not like in
Yeah, well,
Alberta or.
it's in the
But
background, isn't it?
if
Amongst
you,
all the rock and roll.
yeah, yeah, there's place where you go dancing. Oh, there you
Yes.
find them. There's a legion of them. But yeah,
We
that's
don't know.
crazy.
We don't know fucking shit, eh?
But that's crazy when you think about it, and when you start up a band, like I said, it you don't know the industry, you don't know how to promote your band. There's no internet. It's really playing, and that's, I think, was the force and the driving force of Sacrifice. You
Yes.
went through everything and you took the hits, and
Yeah.
after all those years, when you come back, slowly you saw like the impact of the band, and the amount of people grow more and
Yeah.
more. I think Voivod is a good example here. They were pioneer in their style, really prog metal, but they were not like, there was show that there was nobody in the 80s, and then the cult started up slowly.
Yes. And to think, I personally, I don't think they've ever slowed down. I think they've always maintained their rhythm. I've always considered them just to be, when we started out, they were the premium fucking band. They were touring, they never stopped, and they continued to roll. I take my hat off to those guys and say, man, you guys have done it so well for so long, and they've people fucking know that they're Canadian, eh? And that's the same thing with us, Eric. We're a Canadian band, and yeah, we it's like you said, in order to get to where we've gotten today, which is it's come back to us in spades and spades, is the fact that in order for people to see us, to know who we were, we had to play, and that's what we did. Fucking Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec City. Quebec City, like two different stints where we spent a week at Burrow Coin playing at that fucking club every night and we loved it. It was fucking great. Like we couldn't wait to go back and do it. And when it closed down and all that shit that you couldn't do it no more, it's yeah, a little bit heartbreaking for old fucking soldiers like us, right? But yeah, I guess that's the benefit that we had is we got to play. We get to those three runs across Canada for me was everything. Like to get to be able to play in Halifax, New Brunswick, Toronto, and then going back and playing the same markets like Montreal, Quebec City, um, and then finally playing Winnipeg multiple times, Calgary, Edmonton, and then Vancouver. Those guys knew about us from fucking day one. So this country had no problem. And to speak about, when we did finally cross the border, Buffalo, Chicago, Detroit, Rochester, like we hit all those places, and the bands that came out of all those fucking places today are still fucking legendary. And it shocks the shit out of me when I get to, hang around with guys like Paul and George from Cannibal Corpse, and those guys, they tell you that, they couldn't believe it when they seen us and how much they loved us, and they could never get enough of us. And I've heard that from multiple places, multiple guys through the years, and it's fucking gratifying, eh? And I think that legacy never left, and we were lucky to catch the wave again, like you said. And well, to think that the wave was a certain height when we played back in the '80s to now where I'm fucking on this 100-foot fucking wave, and man, it's been carrying us for a long time, and it's a beautiful thing because I got pictures that can tell you over and over again that the crowds still love us, the markets still love us, and they love the new fucking record. I know that.
It's dedication, and it takes discipline. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But you forge a road that a lot of band thought was impossible. Canadian band, And like I said, DOA and No Means No, and they all went in the States with, that idea of, if we just do a tour, that will be great, because we will not make money, we will not
No,
be able to go there again. And then
no.
the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and then you realize that when you go there, people are seeing something different and
Yeah.
something that don't sound like. And that's the thing, thrash metal at that time was like punk. It was new, but every band has their own signature, and you could recognize really quickly who it was, and sacrifice as their own sound. And that for me is important. And that's maybe what missed a little bit through the last year. A lot of bands tried to reproduce what they love, but you didn't. You went to a new stuff, new thing. Let's try and go fast, and don't think that 30, 40 years later we will have to play fast and we are just fucking getting older.
Yeah, no. Nothing like that. Yeah, I know. Fuck, man. We decided to write new songs 10 years ago. Like you asked me 15 years ago, 16 years ago, there was fucking nothing, man. We had Condemned and we were living on it. And 5 years, 6 years after we wrote it, he looked at me, he goes, I got nothing. And when he tells you he's got nothing, I know he's got nothing. Like I know what he's talking, but he's not talking about. He's talking about new material. He's talking about something to keep the fires fucking burning, right? And then all of a sudden, he gives me three songs: Comatose, Underneath Millennia, and Missile. So
Wow.
just think, Eric,
I
he
have
gave me those
nothing.
three fucking. He gave me those three songs in 14, 15. So I've been sitting on those songs for this fucking long, right? And there was a couple of times we played it for other guys. Other guys um, heard us play it. Wes McDonald was lucky enough to fucking learn how to play all three of those songs and got to hear us write those songs together. So he seen something that was right out of the gate. So it was fucking you just know, man. But you sit on those songs for shit, man, right up until 19 before the pandemic, and when we had those songs, right? We didn't have anything else, if
That's
you can believe
crazy.
that. Yeah, we had nothing else. We just had those three songs, and pandemic came. Lose fucking 3 years, 20, 21, 22. We start playing again in 22, back at it again in 23. And then by 22, you can start to see the juices flowing a bit more, and we're writing a few more things here and there. And he looks at me and maybe we'll do an EP. I was like, all right. And then I'm telling you, man, by the time the end of 22 came into the beginning of 23, he went through a writing glut. We wrote a whole bunch of fucking shit. And then Antidote was written day 4 of the recording session, 3 hours. That song didn't exist up until that summer for about 2 minutes, one fucking Sunday afternoon. We played it. We played the beginning of it for like 2 minutes, and he looked at me. He goes, okay, all right, just hang on to that one. That's what he said. And then I hadn't had that song in my head when we went to the studio. We had everything else. And then 4 days later, I finished recording all the drums. Did I know then what we were going to do or how fucking good it was going to be? No, I was pretty confident about what I'd done. Did I feel like we had done something better than maybe the other recordings? I was happy with it, and the more that they finished the record, the more parts and pieces that I got. By the time he had finished doing all the guitars for this album and then giving me the vocals, I was I was yeah. I figured we were going to be a fucking real ball kicker this year when we put it out. I'm not lying to you.
That's
I'm not lying to
crazy.
you at all. Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah, it's
released it.
record. Don't lie to
Well,
me,
Eric,
Gus.
hey, listen, we released that to the last December, right? So I sat on that album from May of that year right up until we released that song in December, and that was only song one. I was like, okay, we're gonna give you the best one, that at least the one that I fell in love with the most on this record. And yet you put that record on for everybody now, and everybody's got a different opinion about what song is their favorite.
And how did you heard about Curse Blessing Records? I know Al for many years through Trigger, the Almighty Trigger Happy, and it's
Yeah.
funny because they're just announced that they're coming to Quebec, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
see Al in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Um, I've known Nolan for a long time. I've known him since I used to play in a punk band in Toronto called the Three Tards. So when I started playing again in fucking when I got back to playing in around 2002, 2001, my old man kicked me in the ass, and one day he set my drums up, played them again, and then next thing you know, my fucking career starts all over again. So I get back to playing punk rock, play a shitload of shows in Toronto. Like next thing you know, we become one of the biggest punk bands in Toronto at that time. 2004, 2005, Three Tards ruled Toronto. I could fucking go down there, fill up a cathedral, 500 kids drinking and fucking all ages. And I'm serious, man. Wall to wall people, they loved us. But everything that goes gold goes sour eventually. So shit fade away. But I mean, I met Al then. He was with those guys. Fucking, we rubbed elbows for a bit, shared some stage, and we kept in touch. And years went by, and next thing you know, we did the record, and we had everything almost written, not quite. And he approached us, Sean, about putting the record out, and we had some long discussions about it and some meetings, and he uh, he was excited about putting it out, and I was like, okay. We all agreed and gave him the record, and I think he's done a smash job. And it's given everybody a chance to go out and buy it, and to pick it up and have physical copies, which for me is important because I mean, the metal guys, man, they want CDs, especially vinyl, right? And in various
Color,
fucking yeah,
color.
they want, like the Blood Spotter is probably the best one that they issued for the for V6 that I love. So I got a copy of that.
Yeah, yeah, and we embrace, all those people that buy every variant and everything. I always have that theory of a band need diehard fans, and if you get 1,000 of them, and just 1,000 of them, you're set free. They're gonna
Yeah,
buy every fucking merch and everything, and they're
everything.
dedicated, and it's cool. And like I said, because when you guys started up, there was like it was DIY and everything. So there's a lot of things that people don't got in hand on. So it's cool, like you said. And I'm that guy that still buy vinyl and CDs and even cassette. I still buy cassette.
Yeah, well, I can't believe they're pressing shit in cassette still between me and you. I mean, when they gave me the first two records on cassette probably about 2 years ago. Fucking, I think it was Al or somebody. They gave me a copy of it. Or maybe High Roller Records put them out on cassette. Those guys. So they give me the first two copies of it. I looked at this. I said, "What the fuck is this?" They repressed that shit on cassette. I said, man, I said, fuck, I wore that format out years ago. I said, I've been wearing out Spotify now. I said, my fucking playlist is in a fucking my phone. Everything I do is in my phone. And so yeah, I guess times change and what have you, right? But still, I guess that's the greatest blessing, Eric, is metal fans love physical copies of fucking their favorite music, and still blessed, man. The guys still buying the records, still buying the old stuff. Um, it's still got a nice distribution deal with High Roller Records worldwide. Curse Blessings in North America between them and High Roller Records. So it's been roses for us. Now we just got to get. I know people have been screaming at us about Condemned for a while, and when we're going to redo that and reissue it, and there's still works in that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one come out and get new copies of that one.
And yeah, and
100%.
Like that's another thing. You spoke about your dad, but I'm 43, I'm younger, but when I think about my dad at my age, he was not like doing festival every fucking week during the summer. He was not seeing like 4 or 5 show a week. Of course, there's a radio show, but I mean, like, there's still a lot of people going regularly to see show Anchorage band, and we're at that point that most of us got jobs and kids and family, so they buy the vinyl and everything, so it makes the wheel work. And I think that metal had never been that stronger than now because there's legions of fans. And I'm sure
Mhm.
that in the 80s, you didn't realize, the whole world was aware of Sacrifice. And then, like, you send Spotify, like, wow, there's really people from all over the world that
All
know.
over the world, especially like places like when Rob tells me Santiago, Chile is the number one fucking place for Sacrifice, I say to him, I said, man, are you shitting me, man? He goes, no, it's true, man. When it comes down to the amount of plays we get coming out of Santiago, it's just stunning, and they dominate and they're number one for the longest time. So
Wow.
that's that for us, and then I'm sure that's going to lead to more conversations, which is playing Toronto this year, finally after 16 years, and getting to go down and play for everybody in Santiago in December is going to be pretty eye opening. I'm looking forward to it, and we get to play with Tom G Warrior now, and he's got Celtic Frost and Triptychon and uh, shit, even Hellhammer. He's doing that. He might be either doing Celtic Frost or Hellhammer on the night we play with them, but I'm not 100% sure. But you know me, I'm gonna man, I'm excited just to see him play because I was lucky enough to see him play Triptychon in Toronto years ago, and it was quite eye opening how good his band was. So I'm looking forward to December to say the least.
I never complain. Quebec is not that bad. We got a lot of shows and venues. Montreal has a little bit more, but there's more people. But Toronto, you have so many shows that we don't have. But I think you mentioned Halifax, and I always have Halifax in mind. I went to Halifax. It's far, so they don't get that much show. So, I
No,
don't complain. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy because when you mentioned it, when you started up and you started going everywhere in Canada. Canada is a pain in the ass to cover as a band. As when you started up, there's so much amount of gas and the hours, and it's not like Europe.
most bands don't realize how long it takes to drive from Toronto to Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
And when you start in Sault Ste. Marie and you start there, and it takes you almost 10 hours to get to Thunder Bay, and then it's still probably another 3 or 4 hours from uh, where is it, Marathon, all the way to Thunder Bay, and you realize that you're at the top of Lake Superior. The distance from Toronto to Winnipeg is 24 hours of driving, and most of it's on uphill stuff, and you got to go around Lake Superior. And you have to be careful not to run into deer and moose, who are rabid animals that sit on the highways. And if you can survive all that, which we did multiple times, and you can conquer this country. But yeah, when you get out west and you realize how flat the country is and how high up you are in the, because you're a mile up, right? You spend a mile climbing. Because I remember when I went to Calgary, Calgary's like 3,600 square, 3,600 feet from sea level. So that's like a mile. So every time I go to Calgary, I get nosebleeds or my nose just reacts to that stuff. And I found out that that's the deal. You're so high up that your membranes are a little bit more loose at that height. So Edmonton, Calgary, all the time you get like small nosebleeds and shit. You learn that stuff along the way,
That's
and I
crazy
guess,
that you
but
mentioned that.
but yeah, but I
I've
mean, you go to these places, you play all these places, and for us, we were lucky enough to be good enough to fucking play these places, and people that seen us have never forgotten. And it seems like, I think the younger guys call us legends, right? And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean, when you got a 40-year career, it's like, we get rolled in with the Exodus, the destructions of the world. We all get this fucking label, creator, all that stuff comes with being lucky enough to start the whole genre and to build it worldwide is. Man, if you had told me in fucking 1985 that this is where metal would be 40 years later, uh, I wouldn't have believed it, man. Because I thought Metallica would never gotten as big as they got, and then they became like almost fucking trillionaires, shit like that. But
Yeah.
what can you say? Like I've never been more thrilled to still be able to play, still be able to fucking put our music out, and to still have a career and still be recognized by the overall community, which is pretty sweet, special, eh? I'm serious. It's for us, it's
Yeah.
it's a fucking beautiful badge. You either have that badge or you don't, right? So we've been lucky, and I've never heard a bad word from anybody about us, and we continue to just show up, play, and do what we do because it's all about the love of it, right? I mean, if we did it for money, we would have never done it back. I mean, you do it for that I you do it for that ideology back in the 80s and realize that there was none, and then you get out and you spend another part of your life building it, and then it comes back to you, and then all of a sudden it gives back to you in spades over and over again. So yeah, monetarily, I'd say it's been absolutely worth the comeback, so to speak, right? The success of Condemned and V6 has been phenomenal. We get to play these shows, we get to play Toronto again and play venues that shit, man. We get to play the concert hall again in Toronto. I haven't played that place since 1989, 1990, stuff like that. It's
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 like
it's
getting back to your high school like 25 years later. It's like,
Yeah,
wow,
you
man, we
don't say,
went there.
it's like showing up in their fucking gymnasium, setting up and getting to play for all your friends that have aged all those years, and then you got a whole new generation of guys that love the genre, and it's a fucking lot of them to say the least. And you get to show up and play it for them, and watch them. Well, you get to watch their mouths fall open because if you got a band that's got that moxie and can show up and shit kick the fucking faces that come to see you play. They never forget, right? And we've been lucky as shit, man. We're still playing great. We're still turning heads after all these years. Yeah. Even Vancouver, I mean, played another great show. Everybody loved the new songs. First time we got to play them was literally 2 months ago. So that's how fresh that shit is. And then we get to do it again in October and every time we play from here going forward. So it's nice to be able to have a new batch of 10 songs that we get to pick, roll out a new set list, and I can start saying, I don't want to play that one no more. Let's play that instead. That I'm looking forward to, Eric. I'm serious.
And you mentioned Legion. That's so it's a funny concept when you think about it. When you got
Correct.
kids, they don't fucking care about what you do. You can be. I'm sure James and Phil live the same fucking thing. Even if you're trillionaire, your kids don't give a shit. It's the human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy because I know people. It's like the best compliment that they can give. Like you're such Legion and everything, but it really depends on who you talking to. Somebody that don't know sacrifice would like what? But yeah, I get it. It's weird. It's like the concept of perfection that some men are trying to find. It's not existing.
It's, it's such a fine line too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you work at your craft for so long and it got to the point, I guess, when now that we're in our older years, like you get past 40 and you become a little bit more stable emotionally, financially. And does it resonate through your your actions, your sound, your quality? I'd say that it does because
Hmm.
uh, I mean, what we just celebrated 16 years of Condemned being out, and the shit that guys were saying about that record last week was just stunning, man. Honestly, like guys were saying it's probably one of the best works we've done, and for me, I was thrilled to hear that about that record. That record, then just to look you in the eyes and say that I wasn't fucking scared to finish that record, put it out. Here it was. 16 years since I played again, and did any kind of fucking sacrifice recording, and then we put the whole thing together over 2 years, just like we did. Well, this one was a little bit longer, like 10 years encompassed, but that album was a 2 year project. We finished it, put it out, and yeah, there's some kick-ass fucking songs off that record. We're gonna definitely throw Atrocity back in the set list going forward because me and Rob still love that song on that fucking record, and we still play it like absolute bosses. All I got to do is look him in the face and go, "You want to play that song?" He goes, "Fuck yeah!" And then we just pull it out and we fucking play it like monsters. I said, "Man, we gotta put that thing back in." He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna do that." So just in case people want to know what's maybe coming in October and December, yeah. If they get to watch the interview, they'll know that Atrocity's coming for sure, Eric.
Gus, we will have to do a part two. It was really fun chat, and I felt the connection. And there's a lot to talk about next time. But quickly, you got a Tin Lizzy shirt. I did an interview with Mike from Grand Slam,
No
and we
shit.
spoke about Tin Lizzy. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was a great interview. Most of people in the punk and metal scene don't really give a shit, but the people that know are like, "What? You had Mike? Yeah, yeah." And he worked with the master. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, I know. Some guys get it, some guys don't. I all those fucking trips across the back country going out to fucking Winnipeg. Hours of it, man. Fucking hours of it. I wouldn't
Wow.
sleep, eh? We sit up all night smoking hash and cranking fucking Lizzie and fucking Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, you name it, man. That's why we know those catalogs inside out. Serious.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Black Sabbath leaving. I know it like you said, people were crying because Ozzy gave so much, and Bill and Tommy and the band, the whole band was such a force, and every fucking metal band got a riff that was create something that Black Sabbath as create. It's in your mind, even if you don't want to be influenced. If you heard, it's there, like that noise.
There's no fucking doubt about it, man. If you cannot love this genre, I don't give a fuck if you play death metal, slash metal, new metal, whatever. If you have not experienced Black Sabbath once in your fucking lifetime, either whether it be just those guys or Ozzy, you've heard them. You can't say that you haven't heard them and you haven't felt something when you've listened to those guys. Luckily for us, it was man, how can I tell you that I wouldn't be a fucking heavy metal drummer and the love of the genre of heavy metal without saying that I don't love Black Sabbath? I'd be fucking lying to you, man. And if they tell you, if you ever do any more fucking interviews, Eric, and if they ever say, I don't know about Black Sabbath, say, you're full of shit, man. Don't
Yeah.
fucking tell me that. I don't care, man. Those guys are, I'm telling you, every fucking, especially guys of my generation, every guy will tell you to a fucking man, we cannot be who we are without. Honestly, it's true.
And I
It's just
cannot
like,
be who I am without sacrifice.
and yeah, and then people say that about us and about the genre. So we all leave something. We all leave something.
It's so true.
And I guess that's the greatest reward, right?
Mm. Gus, thank you so much.
Hey
Make
man, look.
sure, like I said, and no Quebec waiting for sacrifice. So do like Al Nolan and the Almighty Trigger Happy and come see us.
Right. we'll have to get some shit done. I know the Montreal fan base. Well, listen, we've turned down 2 shows now for Montreal this year, and it's just because of timing. But it's not like we don't want to play or we don't want to play in Quebec. It'll happen. It's just a matter of time.
The more longer, the more crazy it's gonna be. But don't wait that long. Gus, thank you so much. You were
buddy.
amazing. Thank you for your time and generosity. It was an honor. And no, we are not Legion. We're just human that live their passions. And deeply, we love music, and it's in our blood and heart.
I would totally agree. Thanks so much. Hey, don't be shy about giving me part 2 sometime. All you got to do is send me a fucking email, eh? And we'll set it up, and I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to you again.
Thank you so much, Gus. Cheers.
Cheers. Take it easy, okay? I'll talk to you again. See you. Good night.
Oh, yeah.
Prescription is what you need. No more inhibition. Set yourself free. Just let go. That's my only plea. A punk rock prescription is what